Everyone, it's Linda McKenna from Golden Rule Senior Placement Services coming to you today with Tuesday Talks. In a couple of days, it is a special holiday that we actually celebrate doctors, and we call it National Doctors Day. And to give you a little bit of background, I'm going to give you a little bit of background on that. But today's topic, we're going to not only talk about Doctors Day and not to forget to celebrate it with your providers, but to make sure that your senior loved ones are up to date and visiting their doctors too. Back in many years ago, there was a doctor by the name of Dr. Crawford W. Long. He was an anesthesiologist, and back then was the first anniversary of a doctor using anesthesia that he actually incorporated March 30th as Doctor's Day. Move forward for a couple of much years after that, in 1933, exactly 91 years after Dr. Long's remarkable discovery, was that they discovered using this holiday and acknowledging doctors for their dedicated services and their brilliance and compassionate care to us, their patients. And I think that is wonderful that we have, over time, have celebrated this holiday again and again. And I certainly know through my professional experiences in healthcare, I always acknowledge Doctor's Day for the physicians that we worked with, and making sure that they knew that we were thankful for what they do. It is a tireless job. There's many that work unspoken hours. It might not be that they're actually in the hospital or in the office, but they're reviewing records. I see a some person in our family who is a surgeon, and I have to tell you, not only is he working diligently with patient care, maybe in the clinic, maybe in the hospital, maybe in surgery, but it's the before and after care of paperwork and all the documentation and follow-up detail of visiting patients that he is so embraced by his patients that we take for granted, that they see us maybe in the office, but they don't realize how many hours are put into their specialty. So Doctor's Day, like I said, has always been a wonderful special holiday, and it wasn't really till 1990 that it was commemorated in legislature by President Bush, George W. Bush, as a special holiday. So we are now celebrating it more than ever, especially with a lot of people that have been so ill. And we went through COVID, and think about the doctors and the nurses along with them that worked tirelessly through that whole period of time. So what really started, the first physician swore to the Greek gods, and it was called the Hippocratic Oath. And this was probably anywhere from 300 BC or 500 BC that this was enacted, that the word physician was spoken about, and it is an oath that they actually still take today when they finish medical school, when they become a full-fledged doctor. So how awesome is something that was written back in the 300 to 500 BC that is still being utilized today. Then 1400 AD, after Christ, actually the word physician was legitimized in the Oxford English Dictionary. How interesting is that? 1849 was the first woman doctor. Her name was Elizabeth Blackwell. She graduated from Geneva Medical Center with a medical degree in 1849. 1982 was the first successful artificial heart surgery. We all watched that on TV, and the effects of it the days later, and how much follow through and how amazing that was. That was Dr. DeVries successfully implanted an artificial heart in a human body after 7 hours of surgery. The traditions of the day is, most importantly, is actually to express your gratitude to doctors for the extension of their know-how, their education, but their compassionate ways. But simple thank you is a handwritten card is wonderful. Making sure the doctor knows how much he or she is appreciated for taking care of you. But why do we really love Doctor's Day? One, this is some things that I looked up online. They relieve more than just physical pain. Doctors are there to help with loneliness, help with anxiety, help with disease processes, and also recommend medications or a diet. So it's more than just going to a doctor that I'm feeling a pain, is that they treat you for mind, body, and soul. So that's why we love our Doctor's Day and why we want to recognize it, because that's what our doctors do for us. Two, they put us back together again. I love it, especially for the ones that are us surgeons, that they are giving us a better quality of life. Maybe neurosurgery, maybe orthopedics, general surgery is they're taking care of our disease processes with surgery, and they're making us whole again. And so that's why we could have a better quality of life. They're resilient. Doctors constantly still have to re-educate themselves on new medications and new deliveries and new surgeries, new techniques. So it's an ongoing basis. At the same time, they're resilient. They know what they signed up for. When they become surgeons, they know it's not going to be a regular 40-hour work week. It is much more than that. Typically, it's anywhere from 60 to 120 hours work week. Kid you not. There's many times that doctors have to fall asleep at the hospital, so they're there early in the morning, tending to their patients' needs after maybe doing rounds and all after surgery. So it doesn't end there when their task is done. It keeps on going. But that's what a doctor is resilient to their needs. Couple of ideas for activities if give thanks to a doctor in your life. Nothing more important than maybe giving a thank you card, a little gift significant for their day. Schedule that much needed checkup. Now this is where I'm going to talk about also with our seniors. Don't wait till an event happens. Well visits are just as important to visit your doctor. Actually, I had a tour today with one of my clients, and she is visiting with her mother's doctor tomorrow. And there was talks about assisted living. So this is a recap with the doctor and actually seeing where she is at today, that maybe it would be more imperative to move further ahead in the placement process rather than waiting to the next occasion or the next fall. So schedule a checkup. Don't wait until it's at your need that you say, oh, I have to go to the doctor's office to tend to it, because they're book solid as well too. So emergency visits are very hard to schedule, but there is better chances that when you're making these appointments regularly, that there is a better treatment process and better outcomes as well too. So when you're speaking to a doctor, especially for a senior, and you're noticing their gait or their balance is off, why are we going to wait till somebody falls? Why are we not having that conversation with the physician along with your senior loved one? And maybe they can order home physical therapy, home health. So there is a communication, should not wait till something happens. Let's be more proactive and be preventative. Staying healthy is a doctor's best reward, is that you practice eating healthy, exercise and all, and better hydrating is having better outcomes. If a doctor sees you following all of his direction and you're compliant with that, I'm telling you, it means a lot to that doctor that he was or she was able to help their patient be prosperous, thrive, and have better outcomes for them, and have a really more of a quality of life. So staying healthy is very rewarding for our doctors as well. I want to have the conversation with you now talking about doctor's visits. As I tell a lot of my clients, when our senior loved ones go to their doctors, it's like going to the principal's office, and quite frankly, everything's good. And you're there for a limited time, so there's not much to really cover. If you're noticing your loved one is having difficulties, maybe not eating, not taking their medications, it's not reporting to them or getting them in trouble, but journaling is going to be something so effective. So the doctor sees a broader scope into their patient's day rather than what's just right in front of them. So if you journal each day, if you're the main caretaker and you're seeing a decline or a refusal to do things, a depression starting in, not eating correctly, not hydrating correctly, or having some kind of mood swings, it's no better time than to journal at the end of your day and say what mama, dad, grandma, grandpa's day was really like. So when you have that appointment with the doctor, now you can address all the things that are going on. I recommend always, having a little small synopsis of bringing that information to the doctor, maybe via fax, maybe a day or two before, so he or she could review. So when you're with your loved one, it's focused on what's necessary to discuss, what your journal says. We are very, very fortunate that we have mobile physician groups. I always recommend that when my seniors go into senior living. Mobile physician groups are wonderful. They come to you, to your home or your living arrangements. And what's great about that, they see you in your environment. There's not a closed window of time. It's not maybe a 15-minute appointment. Typically, it's about an hour. The good part of that also is not the rushing to get to the doctor, the transportation, setting that up, waiting in the waiting room, which is, of course, wonderful to wait for a doctor to see you. But they could still be in their pajamas. They could still be comfortable. And their expectation is a little bit less anxiety because the doctor's coming to see them. So they're not anxious about going to the doctor's office. So I set that up with a lot of my clients. It really proves to be a good quality measure for our seniors to have a mobile physician group visit them in their new home in senior living or at home. So let's have that discussion and let's approach that maybe with your loved one. All I'm going to say for Doctor's Day, I know how precious my doctors are through my health journey. And having that relationship with your physician is just as much detrimental to both of your successes. Him being or her being successful in their practice, but you being a healthy patient is going to be something great for their practice as well. So if you're both on the same page and you get along great with your physician and developing a relationship and guide each other in your ways of doing your daily living, is being really having a great outcome, but really a great potential solid relationship and a compassionate relationship with your physician. And it's to be honest. It's not holding secrets back, oh, I didn't exercise, I didn't do this. They see the results of you not doing. So the honest behavior, both coming and receiving, is important. So don't wait. If this outcome is, do not wait to make an appointment with your doctor. Make one sooner than later. Be proactive and not reactive. Celebrate Doctor's Day. Just pen a card, drop it off at the office. If you want to bring a gift with it, that would be wonderful. But a penned card and reading a greeting card and saying thank you makes a whole lot of difference to a doctor that is now working 120 hours that particular week and actually seeing how much his or her time is well spent because you are appreciative. A lot of doctors have Google reports, and that's another thing that you could do is go on their website and write a good Google report and recommend them to others. If you're happy with yours, there's no better way than telling your friends and your family how much you're appreciative of your physician, that to utilize them for their care as well. Again, to no further ado, I always make you go to my website. It is www.goldenruleseniorplacement.com. There you will see my bio demographics. You will see all those videos that I have taped here for Tuesday Talks. And then also there's various options, resources, and all, and a way to get in touch with me. We're going to be looking into this happy weekend. Besides it being Doctor's Day, happy Easter to everyone. We celebrated a wonderful spring start. Happy Doctor's Day, and we look forward to spending April. April is going to be a strong month for us all, as we're going to talk about ADLs, and we're going to talk about occupational therapy national month, and we have a lot to talk about in the next week or two for in the month of April. Again, thank you for tuning in to Tuesday Talks, and I will see you next week on Tuesday Talks with Linda McKenna of Golden Rule Senior Placement Services. Bye-bye now. Have a blessed week and a blessed Easter and a blessed Doctor's Day too.